Hey, on today's edition of Today's Antidote, yes, I did it right at the beginning just to get it out of the way. We are going to talk about staying the course and the challenges around that. So I'm going to stay the course on this introduction, even though I messed it up, and I actually did it on purpose. All that and more is coming up on episode 763 of Today's Antidote.
Stay tuned for Today's Antidote, brought to you by the Renegade Success Network. Today's Antidote features a healthy dose of thought-provoking insights and information for business owners, entrepreneurs, leaders, and nonprofit professionals. Each day since March of 2020, this program has offered that one thing to help you continue on your own unique pathway to success. And now, Renegades, we bring you Bob Graham and Tom Brush.
Hey,
Good morning, Bob.
Tom.
Yep.
Oh, you're kind of frozen, or am I frozen?
You were frozen for a moment, and it might have
Okay.
been.
Good. Did you get my dent?
I did. It wasn't as energetic as that one.
I got wrapped up in the challenges.
Fair enough. Fair enough. You tend to sometimes get wrapped up in the challenges. Sometimes.
Very nice.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm good. I'm good. I intentionally messed up the introduction. And for those of you who don't pay close attention, because the program is called Today's Antidote, if you say on today's edition of Today's Antidote, it gets all wacky. So Tom's very good about it and gave me a tip last week that I applied at the end, but I intentionally didn't apply it at the beginning because I wanted to stay the course and pursue the challenges. So that was the logic behind that. Did you just hear that?
I did. Cat's on the desk, huh?
Cat went up on the printer. I have a printer to the right of the desk. It's up high, and he likes to, from his perch, watch me do my thing.
Fair enough.
And now he's down. And now he's back. Some say the cat runs my life.
Sounds like it's possible. For a cat, that's a lot. Usually cats are just kind of around, not running your lives.
He's young.
Fair. He's a kid.
And he does a lot of marketing work for me.
Well, that's good. Did you have to issue him a 1099 this year?
No, but I think I might claim him as an expense.
There you go. That'll be a fun audit when it comes in. What's
I
this?
can't
Like
imagine.
cat food and what's that all about? It's like, well,
yeah, vet visits and toys.
Absolutely. All right, everyone. Good morning.
Stack them into the IRS office.
There you go. That'll be interesting.
Even better, take the cat.
Here's my employee that I pay with treats and toys and food.
That's it.
Interesting. All right, everybody. Good morning and welcome to today's Antidote, our daily podcast and broadcast, where each weekday morning, Bob and I have a conversation around a topic. As Bob mentioned, this week's topic is staying the course along your own unique pathway to the success that you desire. And today, we are going to discuss the challenges. And if you're a little bit uncertain about what we mean by staying the course, go back and listen to yesterday's episode 762, where we talked about what it means to stay the course. We did a little preview, I think, on some of the challenges and then the benefits. We'll talk about that a little bit later this week. As we go through that conversation, if you have any thoughts or ideas that you would like to share, please feel free to put them in the comments, as we know it'll add value to our show.
Could be down below, it could be to the side, depends how you set it up.
The places could be anywhere, yes. So for those of you on the podcast, Bob was pointing in all directions of where the comments.
I did not point up.
You didn't. That's fair. Fair enough. And then at the conclusion of that conversation, Bob and I will each offer our one thing, our today's antidote. That thing that we hope will help you figure out how to take your next steps along your own unique pathway to success when you are stuck, uncertain, or just feel like you're all alone as a leader and not sure what to do. Of course, if you have a one thing, we would welcome you to share that as well. because we know it'll likely be different than ours, and it might be exactly what someone else is searching for. So don't hesitate to share your thoughts, ideas, and the value that you have. Before we dive into the conversation, though, each morning Bob and I do our celebrations. Bob, what are you celebrating today?
I totally blanked. I had something and I blanked.
Is this 2 days in a row?
I know. I'm slacking. What can I celebrate today? I had a good interaction with someone yesterday, a one-on-one discussion with someone who philosophically had the same approach to networking as I did. We didn't talk about what we did very much. We talked about who we are, talked about life, talked about, we had some common interests, we had some common experiences, and I know what he does because I looked at his LinkedIn profile. I know what he does because I looked at his website. And what I got to develop with him yesterday was a sense of his character. You know, the way he responded to what I brought up, the things he asked me a question, a clarifying question about something. He took real interest in the fact that I had been a writer and really dug into that and didn't ask the, oh, who have you written for questions, but more, hey, what is it you like about writing? What does good writing mean to you? And those are the types of questions that you start to understand both ways. The character of the person asking the question, but also for him, I didn't give him, well, I want to get rich and write a best-selling book. I talked more about how it helps people and changes lives. And he's like, wow, I never thought about reading something in that way. So that I think that's, you know, that's how you and I approach networking, and the whole idea that it's not an accountant's an accountant and a graphic designer's graphic designer. You know, they do the same, that they do the work, but it's the character of the person. It's how they approach life. It's those things that I think you and I really value as we build our network. And this is a person who had the same values. So Chris at Connects. So he actually has a networking group.
Ah, interesting.
Fun. Yes. Doing many of the things that you and I have talked about doing.
Oh, really?
Yes, very much so.
Are you going to attend one of his events?
I have attended several.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Very, very, very useful. They do a networking approach where you don't talk about your business for more than 30 seconds at the very end. Really kind of cool.
Yeah, I like that. I like it.
And I'm sure there are people who go, but wait, don't I get to give my 3-minute elevator pitch?
Oh, I'm sure there are. Wait, when do I get to give my pitch? When is that happening? When can I shove my business card in somebody?
Wait, the meeting's over? Did I miss?
I didn't think it was
Tom and I are
networking.
not big fans of the elevator pitch.
Yeah, I don't mind it. It's just I'd rather not go with a pitch. I'd rather just share some impact.
I dislike the meetings where it's just a round robin of elevator pitches. You know, okay, now everyone has 30 seconds to tell us what you do. Hi, I'm Bob. I work at this company and do this. If you're looking for plumbing services, call me. And then the next person says, hi, I'm a plumber. I do what he does, but we do it better. So if you're looking for a plumber, call me. That's my favorite, when you get 2 or 3 people in the same industry who have like a little, you know, verbal smackdown. We do plumbing and insulation.
Certainly. Excellent. Good celebration.
But I digress. How about you?
So I am celebrating that later today. I'm actually celebrating that I have to go to Northern Virginia.
You're one of the few.
I know.
If you live in the Baltimore area, going to Northern Virginia could be an hour and 10-minute drive, or it could be a 2.5-hour drive. And if you're coming home at rush hour, it could be no less than 2-hour drive. It could be 4-hour drive.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. But I'm celebrating it because it signals the sort of start of the high school lacrosse season. So I'm going down to a group that I do some work with during the year that I officiate for. And it wasn't my normal group, and I haven't really ever been in person to their meeting. And so I'm looking forward to their in-person meeting to kick off the season. as we get ready. Hopefully, it's a little warmer out than it is this morning as we go into the season. So I'm excited
Are they
about this.
playing today?
No, it's just it's like an organizational
Oh,
meeting. We're going to go over
oh,
rules and
okay. Because it's supposed to be
details.
cold, I believe.
Yes, the college season starts this weekend, which is going to be cold. Liz, my wife,
Ugh.
has a game. I don't have one for another week, so hopefully it'll warm up by the 11th. I hope.
Where's her game? North, south, or in the area?
I can't remember.
Okay.
We haven't yet put up our big calendar with all of here's where we're going to be. So we got to work on that.
Okay. And
Yeah.
yesterday you told us you were going to record your toast to your son. Did you do that?
I did. I had a
Okay.
little glitch in the middle that I have to edit out, and then
Okay.
then I'll have it available. I'm going to send it to him first,
I think
and
that's
then
a good idea.
and then I'll share it in the Ringer Renegades. I'll
I
probably
like that.
send it to you as well. Give you a little sneak
Okay.
preview.
And folks, if you're in the Ring of Renegades Facebook group, you will have access to it. If you're not in that group, hey, what are you waiting for? Come on, people, show me something here. Come into that Facebook group, the Ring of Renegades Facebook group. There's so much valuable information, insights on how to be more effective, how to take on challenges, how to be more confident, the systems that you need to overcome what the struggles you have in your daily life. Tom and I do lives a couple times a week where we just go on and talk about what's going on. I did one. What was the topic yesterday? I'm totally blanking. All right. What did I?
About staying the course, I think. No, it was
Oh,
about
is
the
that
one
thing?
thing.
The number one thing that entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs, I've found. So all that's there waiting for you. No charge. Go there. We'll ask you a couple questions. Boom, you're in. You get access to the gold mine that we have.
Yeah. Excellent.
There you go.
All right, everyone. Now let's dive into our topic. Since pretty much the start of the year, Bob and I have been talking about your pathway and all the different facets of that. And a week ago, we talked about, I remember checkpoints. All right. And then in those checkpoints, you have an opportunity to learn and then figure out what your next step is. And so one of the next steps that you could take is staying the course. And so today we're going to talk a little bit about the challenges of trying to stay the course. Bob, would you like to kick us off?
I would love to, Tom. This is a topic that's near and dear to my heart. I am not good at staying the course. I never have been. If you look at my resume, you'll see that I've left a number of jobs after a couple of years, not because they wanted to fire me, but just because I got bored. And I got to a place where I didn't feel challenged and I just would go somewhere else. And I find that in my business, the same thing. I will be doing something. It'll start to work the way I was looking for it to work, and I'll get bored with it. And one of my coaches a couple of years ago, I was doing something with LinkedIn. It was working really well. And I said to her one day, I'm like, hey, so this works really well on LinkedIn. I think I'm going to move to Facebook and try it on Facebook. And she said, wait a second, hold on. What? I said, I'm just going to try it on Facebook. There's probably a whole bunch of opportunity on Facebook. She's like, but it's working for you on LinkedIn. And I said, yeah, but I've done that. And she strongly encouraged me to keep doing it on LinkedIn because it was working. And I think that's one of the things for me. Once something works, it's a challenge for me to want to keep doing it. And I can think of a couple things going on right now that fit that mold. And I just like the challenge of figuring things out. And sometimes when you're running a business or you're leading a team, it all seems to be working the way it's supposed to be working. That scares me. Frankly, it's like, it's boring. It's like, why do you need me here? If the machine's humming along, why do I need to be here? And I think that's one of the challenges. I think another challenge is to staying the course is other people. People want to give you their opinions. They want to micromanage from afar. They don't understand what you're trying to achieve, or they understand it this way. And I'll give you a really great example. I took some fiction writing courses about 10 years ago, and you'd write a short story, take it in, everyone would read the short story, and then they'd critique it. And some people would critique it like, hey, I was really concerned about that character, that they were drinking a latte and I really felt like they were a tea drinker. Be like, oh, explain to me more. And those little things make a difference. And that would be a great discussion. Other people would say, so I see you have a story about a guy who plays guitar. I think it should be a guy who's a car mechanic. And then they would go off in that completely different direction. And it was very difficult in that moment to stay the course and be like, no, it's a guitar player. I see it in my head as a guitar player. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you say. It's a guitar player. Same thing with our business. I've seen people who were starting businesses, came up with the name for their business, loved the name, shared it with 5 or 10 people, and 9 people liked the name. 1 person didn't like it. We're like, well, I can't use that name because he doesn't like it. It's like,
ever happened to you?
Love it. Never. Not once.
Okay, just wanted to double check. I thought I remembered someone making a comment about one of the names of one of your businesses.
Well, I had 2 names, and it was getting convoluted to have 2, and no, we're not going there. But you see the struggle, and I see it all the time. And as I've gotten older and matured in my business thinking, I've focused more on staying the course. I know when I'm deviating. Like there was something you brought up to me a couple of days ago. Like, hey, is this just you and another shiny object? And it was like, no, in this case, I don't think it is. And I had that discussion with myself already because I'm prone to doing that. And I think that's part of this, knowing what the challenges are to you. And I think we all have them because we're doing something unique. We've never done it before. So how can we be absolutely certain of every step along the way? So as we get that feedback, whether it's I sent an email out to 5,000 people and only 2 responded, well, I shouldn't use email anymore. Or you give an elevator pitch at an event, no one walks up to you afterwards. I'm not joining that group. That was a total waste of my time. What? I can't even believe I spent 45 minutes with that group. Well, typically that doesn't happen right away. And maybe everyone was distracted. Maybe it was really warm that day, or maybe everyone's kids were late for school. Who knows? There are a lot of factors. And I think we want the quick answer. We want the magic pill. We want things to be easier than they are. And I think the thing I've figured out in the last year or 2 is if it was easy, everyone would do it. The fact that it's complicated and challenging actually means those that continue on their path will probably achieve a result. Those that constantly shift directions never get anywhere.
Yeah, well, I think it's an interesting conversation of the challenges to me, and you touched on a couple of things. One, the feedback we get from others, and again, they have different knowledge, experience, and perspective, and so the way that they look at your choices is going to be different than the way that you look at them and the way that you envision them. And I think so often we think of feedback as the end all be all. And so if one person doesn't like what we're doing, we shift. If someone likes it, we keep going. If someone doesn't like it again, we shift again. And it's sort of like we use their feedback to keep us on, or to change our course based on what they think, not what we believe. And I think that it's such a there's so many different concepts around what we do and why we do it and why someone would think the way they do, because they don't have our knowledge, experience, and perspective. And I also think that it's a lot about expected results. That's one of the biggest challenges of staying the course, is they never seem to come as quickly as we would like them to. And so we feel like, okay, I tried this for a little bit and it's not working. Or in your case, it's working, but now I'm bored of it and I need to move to something else. And I think we lose the opportunity to let time take its course, and people can start to see the value as they get a little further and further away from it and be like, when Bob or Tom said this, and that was actually really insightful to where I am now. Maybe didn't resonate with me at the time. And I heard them say it over and over and over and over again. And I'm like, wow, that's interesting. Now that's something that I'm starting to believe in. You know, it was like being a leader. So many people want to be leaders, which makes sense. And they think that, oh, once I'm a leader, I'll be all set. I can do what I want to do. And
come in when I want, leave when I want, get paid more money. I don't have to do the work. Yeah, I remember those days.
And I think that so often once you get there, it's a little different because you've never been there before. And even if you've never been in that situation as a leader likely before. And so the opportunities look different and the challenges are there. You know, now you're the leader. Okay, great. Now you're all alone. You're the one who's responsible for all the decisions, any of the actions that we take, trying to keep the team in order. And that can feel awful lonely. And it can be easy to be uncertain about what's happening and how it's going. And I think that uncertainty then leads us to start to consider other options, maybe before or as we are just about to hit the success that we were desiring.
You know, it occurred to me while you were speaking, Tom, that one of the things I hear most about our program when I tell people, or they'll say, I think I've heard your voice, or I know you from somewhere. I'll say, oh, maybe it's this. And they'll say, oh, how long have you been doing that? And I'll say, you know, like 760 some odd episodes or almost 3 years. And they'll be like, whoa. Like all that time. It's not what we do sometimes as much as the consistency of doing it. You know, just like with networking. I remember early in my networking life, someone said to me, you're always at this event. Every time they do this event, you're here. And that's what brought them up to talk to me. And I would have told you it was a complete waste of my time to be at that event, but I kept going because it fit my schedule. And that person ended up being a client because they saw that consistency and that I came to that event and I engaged with people in a way that most people didn't. And I think that's a sign that you know, there's a value in staying the course, in really seeing something through, because otherwise you've only done half the experiment.
Don't get to the benefits. Don't share the benefits too much.
I'm sorry. Look, I'm doing your job today. Darn. You got me. Right. Never mind.
And you like the challenges so much.
I do. Shiny objects.
Oh, you like them so much. Are you ready to share your one thing?
I think I am. I think we are confronted with challenges no matter what, whether things are going really well or not well at all, or as we anticipate or not as we anticipate, or completely vanilla. And I know you don't like any of those adjectives. I get that. But no matter what, there's always a challenge that we can take on. And I think that's the challenge in and of itself. We look for challenges. I think most of us are wired to look for things going wrong, not going right. So it's much easier for me to identify the challenges with something than to sit and look at the benefits, which is why you and I, with our Renegade Success Network, really focus on celebrating, because that's an opportunity to get away from the challenges. That's what we do at the start of the program each day, right? We have to come up with something like, hey, I'm celebrating this thing. And I wouldn't have thought about the thing yesterday the way I did unless forced to think through it that way.
I like it.
How about you?
Very cool. So as we were talking about it, and as we've talked about this before, I think one of the biggest challenges is a lack of confidence. Is that we just, whether it's from results, whether it's from feedback from others, whether it is from our own questioning or some new shiny object that pops in, one of the hardest things about staying the course is have the confidence to believe that what you decided whenever you decided to set the course still has value and is still a viable option to get to where you want to get to. And I think so often all those other outside influences tend to chip away just a little bit at the confidence that we have. You know, because usually when you start out with, okay, I got this pathway and I know what my destination is. I know when I'm going to have some checkpoints. And I even know my first step or two. And then we take those step or two and we get feedback. We get new results. Time has happened. And so other things pop into our understanding. And all of those things start to chip away at the confidence that we had when we set out on that course. And I think the further and further we go, we have less and less confidence. Even if we have some success along the pathway, we are still like, yeah, that was some success, but is it what I want? And how much further away is the destination that I'm trying to achieve? And it starts us to really think about, why are we doing this? Why am I staying the course? It looks like there's another opportunity here. Someone else believes that this is a new way to take it. And that confidence that we had starts to diminish. And I think at some point, that's when people stop or they give up, is when their confidence has been pecked away enough that they just aren't confident enough to keep going, to stay the course, to try to achieve what they thought they wanted to achieve. And so now they have moved on, or they move on to something else. And I think typically what'll happen is the same thing. And it just becomes this unending cycle of why they never find the success that they have is because they can't maintain the confidence to continue along this course until they give it enough time to be able to get the results that they desired or learn. And then they get to that point where they felt like they've learned enough, then they have the opportunity to move forward. Because I think one of the values of learning is it provides us with that confidence again. It's like a boost towards, hey, that was interesting to learn. Yeah, I didn't really get the results I thought, and I learned this, which I just add that to my toolkit, and the confidence continues to grow and allows us to move in the next direction until all those same forces start chipping away at us again. And so I think, to me, one of the biggest challenges is having the confidence to stay the course and all the influences that are out there trying to chip away at our confidence.
I like that. That's pretty good. Thank you. I'm thinking through that one today.
Got you thinking. Is that a bell ringer moment?
Oh yeah. Wait, I had to move it because the cat would ring it. And I see we have a comment from my sister Beth. So sometimes it's hard to stay the course and you're afraid to try it because you don't like challenges and you're afraid to try and get frustrated and don't like feedback because you feel like you can't do it. Yeah, that's pretty much every day for me.
Well, and that's, I think, because we look at the feedback not as feedback. We look at it as a judgment on us, either from ourselves or from someone else.
Right.
And anytime I think we feel like we're being judged, we're a little less confident. Think about the last time that you knew someone was going to evaluate your performance. And first off, you get nervous about that. And nervousness is definitely one of the things that reduce confidence. And then when we get feedback, as we all know, we often forget all the feedback that might help us keep that confidence and focus on the feedback that knocks us down a little bit and chips away at the confidence that we have.
I don't know what you're talking about, Tom. I've never had that happen.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. I mean, you've moved along in your business career. You're a confident guy. It's easy for you to stay the course.
No falser statement has ever been made.
Well, here's the thing. You're not alone. I mean, I think that happens with all of us to some degree, even the people. And that's why I think it's hard to have confidence, to keep moving forward, is because we so often have seen it be a struggle and constantly have people chipping away at that confidence. And, and again, I think that's one of the challenges, is that if you don't have a mentor, a coach, a community that you can go to when you're feeling like you don't have the confidence, and get built back up, get that sort of injection of celebrations, other feedback, support, others
Recognition
sharing,
of how far you've come.
yeah, sharing the value that you offer. All those things are just injections of confidence to help you go back and fight the fight. Unfortunately, most leaders feel alone, and they don't have that support system that allows them to get those injections. And so they're just stuck with the people chipping away all the time at their confidence.
I've got more from my sister Beth. It's hard to take feedback from people you know because you don't like to show that they are correcting you are stupid. I don't know that it's really about they're correcting you're stupid. That's certainly how some people perceive it. But I think, and you've helped me a lot with this, Tom, it's really just feedback.
It's just feedback.
It's just one more opinion. You know, like everyone has noses, right? Your nose, my nose. Who's to say yours is the perfect nose or mine's perfect nose?
Well, and as we know, there's no such thing as perfect. So there's no perfect nose.
What? There's no thing as perfect?
No.
What?
Sorry.
I'm gonna have to really think through that one.
So I think that's one of the challenges, Beth, is not, they have different knowledge, experience, and perspective that you do. So what they offer is just feedback. You are the only one who created whatever it is you're trying to do. And so it's really your pathway, not theirs. And so really it's just a judgment on them. Don't let it be a judgment. Just be thank you for the feedback. And then move along and add it in with all the other feedback. Because I think that so often, as Bob mentioned earlier, we remember the feedback that chips away at us. It's hard for us sometimes to remember the feedback that builds us up.
I was good.
Thanks. Well, Beth, thank you for commenting, and just know that we understand. And even Bob and I, we talk about this, and I'm fairly confident in how I look at feedback. And I will also say that doesn't mean that it doesn't chip away a little bit. And it's just my time to remember, that's just feedback. And there's a lot of other feedback out there that's going to infuse the confidence in me to keep going. So think about that. They're just one person. It's just one person's opinion. And there are a lot of other opinions out there that if you had the chance and the opportunity to ask, how many people are in the world? 300 million, 300 billion, 3 billion, something like that.
8 billion, I think.
8 billion. So that's just one of 8 billion. That's a pretty small percentage. So just take it as that. It's just a little bit of feedback. Okay.
Although if it is your boss, you might have to wait a little more heavily.
Maybe. I don't know. I think that's in the same boat. Yes, it has an influence on your role. And if it's feedback that's not helpful, why stay in that role? Again, I think if your boss is only giving you feedback that is chipping away at your confidence, then it might be time to find a new boss. If you can.
If you
can't, then find someone else that you can talk to, that every time your boss tries to chip away, some other people are going to infuse you with other feedback. And it's can a little bit balance itself out, and it's not even really trying to balance it out. It's just information for you to process that may impact you a little bit, may impact you a lot. It's those things in our head. We let our head determine how much it impacts us. Now it's time to have your head say, it's just feedback. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate it. I'll take it into consideration. And it's one of 8 billion feedback you could get.
Tom, with all these great bell ringer moments.
Interesting. I think confidence is a huge thing. And it's one of those things that when you don't have it, you know it. And then when you find ways to get those injections that you need, it's a lot harder to chip away at your confidence.
Right.
And if that's something that you're looking for, that's exactly what we try to do in the Renegade Success Network. And, if you're interested in our program, the Renegade Pathway to Success, it's all about building up those strategies and systems to help you maintain the confidence that you had when you started so that you can achieve the goals that you have and the success that you desire. If you want more information about that, just let Bob type Y in the comment, and we'll be happy to send you more information about how you might be able to leverage that if you feel like your confidence is constantly being chipped away and you're just not sure what to do about it. Anything else, Bob, you want to share?
No, I'm good. We covered a lot of ground. My head's spinning.
I'm just hopeful that one day your head doesn't actually spin.
For a variety of reasons, but
For
it'd
a
be fun to
variety.
watch.
No, I think
It would go viral.
it would probably go viral.
There's
Sure that's-
probably a way to do a video that would show my head spinning if you did the right filming.
Probably. I'm not sure why that would.
Just so one day I could play it and you'd see my head spin.
Okay, fair enough. All right, everybody, if you have one thing that you'd like to share about the challenges of staying the course, please feel free to put it in the comments. Or if you have any other thoughts and ideas you want to share, because we know that'll add value to someone who's looking for it and might be exactly the piece of information they need to help them figure out how to take their next step along their own unique pathway to success. And of course, if you're looking for that community, join us inside the Ring of Renegades Facebook group. It is a community that I think is providing that infusion of confidence for others to help them figure out how to move forward. So please join us. Just go to Facebook, search for Ring of Renegades, and then ask to join. And you can become a part of our growing community that is helping people take their next step along their own unique pathway to success. So we look forward to seeing you inside of that group. If not, we will see you tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Eastern time, for our next episode of today's Antidote. Have a great day, everyone.
Hey, embrace the renegading you. It is worth it. It'll give you more confidence. It'll make you feel great about yourself in the day. So embrace that renegading you today.
I would 100% agree that if you embrace the renegade inside of you, that's a pretty good shield against all of the outside influences trying to chip away at you. That you're following your own unique pathway that you have created, not that someone else has created for you. So definitely go out and do that and make it a great day. We'll see you soon. Thanks for listening to today's Antidote, powered by the Renegade Success Network. The Renegade Success Network helps you confidently create your own unique pathway to success. To learn more about the Renegade Success Network and how you can take your next step, follow us on Twitter, connect on LinkedIn, or join the Ring of Renegades Facebook group. For full details on how you can join our community, go to renegadesuccessnetwork.com. Embrace the renegade in you.